Okay, I will give you a very, very short introduction about a new feature which has landed in kubectl as alpha feature in 1.13 and 30, and it's based on ephemeral containers. So if you are running a Kubernetes cluster in 1.25, it should, in theory, work. So yeah, let's give it a try in 5 minutes. So I'm Mario, I'm software engineer at Mercedes-Benz Tech Innovation, and I'm also a member of the CNCF End User Technical Advisory Board, a super long name. Yeah, but today I will show you only some kubectl stuff. Okay, I have a Prometheus stack up and running, and I deployed a new application, but for some reason I have a lot of healthy scrape targets, but this one, it seems to doesn't work. So how to start? Okay, so there are multiple ways to start debugging that cases. So the easiest thing, but that's not always possible for very good security reasons, is exec into a node. So do some SSH or exec node. So that works. So I'm now on the node level, and then can start debugging, and I see all the other stuff which is running in this on that node. No, wrong shortcut. The other thing I can do, and now we see why we need something more, is let's exec the container to see how the container is, how the application is running or the process itself is running. And it should be pod. And it doesn't work because we all love containers, and we all love minimum containers. And this is a container from scratch. There's no shell in there, so I do not know how to continue. And my cluster provisioning team does not allow to SSH onto the nodes. So the next step might be doing, and that sometimes works, but it really depends on the application. Sometimes doing a port forward to the application is sometimes enough, but mostly not. So the next thing, and that's something, to be honest, we often do, and we already know it's super bad for doing that, is let's temporarily rebuild the application again and move the distro thing away and start from Ubuntu and install all the debug tools we need and deploy that, and then we have to suspend Flux or our GitOps tool, and then we have to we have to unsuspend GitOps again, that we do not run this this container. So that's not that cool. The next thing might be, okay, that works, and we often have to debug the application. Let's ignore let's throw away this minimal approach and always run on Ubuntu and use this heavy container. Your CVEs will thank you when you do that, so it's also not the best approach for doing that. So the next thing is, and that's a feature in kubectl since a few years. There's the kubectl debug command, and when I do debug pod, so I run. Come on. So in the end, I run in kubectl debug. I define a debug image, and this will attach an ephemeral container. And now I'm in the same network namespace as my application is, and now it's possible to do some debug commands. And now we see, okay, the application is running on port 8080, and Prometheus scrape target, it's bind to localhost, and that seems to be the reason why it doesn't work. But the application has a configuration file from a config map, and sometimes it's also nice to have a direct access to the configuration file itself. And that's the thing where this new kubectl custom debug profile feature came in. And I will show you first. Yeah, okay. This profile. Come on. Okay. Now here we see this is our app configuration, and no, that way. So this is the configuration our application also uses when it starts. So that's the config file, and that's the reason why this new feature makes totally sense. And how does it look like compared to the command I run prefer is show debug diff. So this is the difference. So this is the old command which works since years, and this is the new command I've used. So in 1.31, the feature will graduate to stable. So I guess we can drop that environment variable. So, and then it's just kubectl debug -- image and then -custom and then the path to our profile. So to that JSON we use here, and then the pod name, and then we are in the container. So that's really cool. When I discovered that feature, I guess after 30 minutes, it annoyed me so much. And I started taking a small CLI plugin for kubectl to make it much more easier, at least to me. And what was it? Okay. It's the wrong, doesn't matter. I created a small plugin, which I'm super bad with names, so I called it Debug Profile Manager, DPM. So it's kubectl DPM run and then a name to a profile. And it's more or less that. So it's that I have a configuration file and a list of profiles. And so I have a profile for app KCD, which can debug the application image and uses this JSON, the pod spec patch I have shown before. And to detect target pods, it uses a label selector and the target namespace. And yeah, so that's it. That's kubectl custom debug profile feature alpha in kubectl 1.30 and will be stable 1.31. Make QR. So two QR codes. This one is to the DPM GitHub repository, and this is to my LinkedIn page. So if you have any questions, please feel free. Thank you.